Dude, I just ran 26 miles and all I got was this crappy plastic metal. Don't be that guy. Let's make a good metal. This is Josh K with the Monterey Company, and today we're going to be talking about racing metals. Racing metals are super cool. They're great for an event. They can really kind of tie it all together. So let's start with this process. Most important, especially because most of the time these racing metals are for a set event, we want to make sure that we have time. All of these custom items have to be designed, they have to be produced, and they have to be shipped. All of that takes time. On average, once everything is done and completed, we're averaging about 3 to 4 weeks. If we can start 2 months before your event, then we have time to go through options. We have time to show you different designs. We have time to give you multiple quote quantity levels and change that up. The more time that we have, the easier it will be. One of the worst things that you can have is the week of your event, you're calling me saying, Josh, where are my racing metals? And I'm going, oh man, there's a massive blizzard and FedEx is grounded. Not much we can do here. So give yourself the time. I know that with races, a lot of times your registration, you don't want to finalize everything until you have a really good idea of that. With that, if your registration ends a month before that, let's get through all of the process. Let's have a quote so you have the idea of the cost. Let's have the artwork all done. Let's have the ribbon artwork all done. And then if you need to wait a month before the event and then go, okay, our final number is this, then we can go with that number. For that, I will kind of give you advice. I would always order a little bit more than your exact number, just in the case of having late entrants. That way everybody gets a medal. It's going to be a lot cheaper to order 150 all at once than to order 100 for the first order and then 2 weeks later in a scramble come back and go, can I order 50 more? We can do it. They might not arrive on time and it's going to be much more expensive than ordering 150 at the start. So let's go through the process. First, we're going to start with your design. It's always going to be the base of all projects. Most of the metals that we do are going to be between 2 and 4 inches. You can go a little bit smaller, but there's a perceived value in size. And if you go too much smaller, people are going to go, is this a metal for ants? Come on, bro. So you want to make sure that you have a nice size there. Get your design, shrink it down on your computer screen till it's between 2 and 4 inches, and then make your size determination from that. We can go larger, if you want something massive, we can do that. But generally speaking, it's going to be between 2 and 4 inches. Then we're going to talk about, okay, the finish. Are we wanting just a metal finish or are we wanting it in colors? We can do both for metals. It's just up to you. For just the metal finish, we're going to have platings. One of the really cool things that you can do with metals is you can do tiered metals based off of the plating, like gold, silver, bronze. If you want to do that, please note our bronze would really be copper. So when you see on the quote request and we have gold, silver, and copper, it's because our copper looks more like what you would picture for a bronze metal. Our bronze plating looks very, very similar to gold. So if you went with gold, silver, and bronze, you'd be getting metals and going, why did I get 2 sets of golds? What's going on there? So you can do that, and you can do that within an order. I want to order 100 metals, and I want to order 15 of them in gold. I want to order 25 of them in silver, and I want to order 60 of them in bronze, copper, and you can do that. And that way you have tiered metals. Ribbons, we can do printed ribbons. So if you wanted to print logo sponsors on the ribbons, or you wanted to print the date on the ribbons, because, and this is a little hint, if you wanted to use the same metal year after year, you don't want to put anything on that metal that's going to be perishable. You don't want to put the date on the metal. We made a metal this year for 2026. We put that in the metal. You want to order the same thing next year, but you want to change the year. Now we have to do a whole new mold just to make it 2027. So if you want to potentially reorder them using the same molds, and even in that case, you can change plating from year to year. This year, we're going to do shiny nickel. Next year, we're going to do shiny golds. So they have a visual distinction, but you're using the same molds. So don't put anything perishable on the metal itself if you want to use them year after year. Put that on the ribbon. I've had customers where they'll order 150 of them, print on the ribbon the year, the sponsor, so on and so forth. And then the next year they have to order 100 of the medals because only 50 or 100 people showed up, and they order 200 ribbons, whatever that extra ribbon would be. Replace the old ribbons from last year, new ribbons come on this year's medals, boom, there you go. And now you're kind of saving yourself a little bit of money and still having visual distinct medals and ribbons. Once we go through the process, so you have all of that you want to do. I want it to be a 4-inch, I want to have enamel coloring, and I want to have this plating. On the ribbon, I want to have this printing, and we'll send you a quote. Here's your quote. On those quotes, especially for racing medals, we'll pretty much always go, okay, what do you think the least amount of applicants will be, and what do you think the most will be? And we'll give you a range so you have an idea. If more people sign up than you thought, then you order a higher quantity. If that quote's within budget, then we start mocking up both the medal and the ribbon, unless the ribbon is just a solid color ribbon. We'll do a mock-up for that, but we'll mock that up, send you the proofs. If we need to make any changes, we can, if possible. Once that's all done, you have the art, you're happy with the art. You know how many you want to order. Then we send you a pay link, you make payment, we start production. Typically for 3 to 4 weeks from there, we're sending you the medals. Again, please note, time is such an important part of racing medals. It really, really stinks when they arrive 3 days after your race. It's no fun. So give yourself enough time for this. If you have any questions, size, finish, printed ribbons versus solid color ribbons, any of those things, feel free to ask us for samples of previous projects. We'll be happy to send them out so you get an idea of it. You tired of hearing me ramble on? You want to get this started? Put in that quote request. Let's go.